All right, let's talk about confidence. But what if I told you that pretty much everything you've ever learned about how to get it is, well, wrong? We're going to dive in and uncover a real formula for building confidence that actually sticks.
Okay, this right here, this sentence is the key to everything. We're always told you have to feel confident before you can do the scary thing, right? But the truth, it's the total opposite. Confidence isn't the fuel you start the car with. It's the trophy you get after you finish the race. It's the result of your actions, not the reason you take them.
So to really get this, we first have to bust some of the big myths about confidence that, let's be honest, most of us still believe.
You've definitely heard this one, right? Just stand in the mirror and tell yourself, I am confident, over and over. You know, the source for this explainer actually tried this, wrote it on her mirror back in her 20s, and guess what happened? Absolutely nothing. In fact, psychologically, this can totally backfire, because when you tell your brain something it knows has zero evidence to back it up, it just creates this mental conflict. It can actually make you feel less adequate. Just saying it doesn't make it real.
And this slide just lays it all out, crystal clear. The myth we're all sold is belief comes first, then you act, and then you get confidence. But the reality? Nope. You have to start with the action. That action gives you evidence, and it's that pile of evidence that builds real, actual confidence.
So, if affirmations are out, how is confidence actually built? Well, it's not about wishing for it. It's about building a case for yourself, one small action at a time.
I love this analogy. Think about it. You don't get bigger biceps by just thinking about lifting weights, right? You have to actually go to the gym and put in the reps. Confidence is exactly the same. It gets weaker if you don't use it, and it gets stronger every single time you face a challenge. And this story just shows the process perfectly. Picture this. 21 years old, moves to California, no money, no job, zero confidence. She takes this sales job she's completely unqualified for. And she was terrified. I mean, who wouldn't be? But she put in the work. For 30 days, she was scared out of her mind, but she studied, she practiced, she worked like crazy. And then she made her first sale. That one sale, that was the proof. That was the tangible evidence that just shattered her old belief that she couldn't do it, and it forged a new one.
See, our brains are basically just evidence-gathering machines, and they're wired for one thing: survival, not success. So when you try something new, your brain's default setting is fear. It's trying to keep you safe from what it doesn't know. The only way to reprogram it is to feed it new data. You have to show it through action that you're not just going to survive, you're going to thrive. Okay, so this brings us to a really practical formula. If our brain needs evidence, then we need to become like data scientists for our own lives.
This quote is just so powerful. Confidence comes from data, not dopamine. Think about it. Dopamine is that fleeting high, that good mood you get. It's totally unreliable. But data is the cold, hard truth of what you've actually done. And that is so much more powerful for building real belief in yourself.
So, if you just go by how you feel, your week can look like this chart. Totally all over the place, right? Highs and lows. And our brains have this thing called a negativity bias, so we naturally zoom in on the bad days. You could have a great week overall, but you'll end up feeling like a failure just because of one or two low points.
But look what happens when you track your actions instead. The calls you made, the pages you wrote, whatever it is, the story completely changes. The data shows a clear upward trend. This is the objective proof your brain needs. It shows that no matter how you felt on any given day, you are still making real progress.
Okay, that makes sense. We need to take action to get the data. But what if that first action just feels way too big, like impossibly overwhelming? Well, that's where the second part of this formula comes in.
And this is the roadblock for so many of us, right? You have this huge goal, you try to take a giant leap towards it, you fall flat on your face, and then you feel even worse than when you started. It's a classic cycle of self-sabotage. But there is a way to break it.
The secret here is go small and get going. The fastest way to build confidence is to start with something so small that it's basically impossible to fail. You just build momentum by stacking up these tiny wins. There's a great example of a coach who just has his clients make their bed. That's it. Every day for a week. It's a super easy win, but it builds that foundation of keeping a promise to yourself. It gives you the confidence to take the next, slightly bigger step. And this slide shows exactly how these tiny tweaks can help you conquer a massive fear, like public speaking. You don't start by trying to give a TED Talk, right? No way! You start small.
Maybe you just speak for 60 seconds on a team Zoom call. Then, next time, you run a tiny part of a team meeting. Each step builds on the last, gathering more and more evidence until presenting to the whole company just feels, well, like the next logical thing to do.
All right, so we've got our formula. Take small actions, track the data. But there's one last huge obstacle that stops most people before they even take that first tiny step. And that obstacle is fear.
This idea is so important. Emotion follows motion, not the other way around. You can't wait until you feel brave to act. It just doesn't work that way. You have to act while you're still afraid. The action itself is what changes how you feel. Courage isn't something you have before you step on stage. It's what shows up about 15 seconds after you start talking.
So we really need to change our relationship with fear. Feeling scared doesn't mean something's wrong. It just means your brain is doing its job, trying to protect you. So the goal isn't to get rid of fear, it's to increase your tolerance for it. And I love this phrase, fear is a mile wide, but only an inch deep. All the fear lives in the thinking about the thing. The moment you take action, it shrinks. You're not fighting some imaginary monster anymore, you're just doing the task.
So really, it all boils down to this. You literally behave your way into confidence. You do the thing, you get the evidence, and you do it again. Over time, you build up such a mountain of proof that you're capable that for your brain, not being confident just becomes completely illogical.
And this quote is just the perfect mindset to carry with you into any challenge. Don't fight your fear. Don't try to push it away. Just acknowledge it's there. And then you're going to take that fear, put it all in your purse, and take it with you.
And that's the final thought I want to leave you with today. What's in your purse? What's that fear you've been letting stop you? What if instead of trying to get rid of it, you just decided to pack it up and take it with you?